In the previous chapter, we saw Zhuo Fan's chosen 5 high venerables, heaven, earth, water, fire, and madness, arrive just in time to save Luo Yunhai. Despite their own brutal battles, they risked everything, bearing deep wounds, yet standing, strong. Their loyalty and sacrifice overwhelmed Luo Yunhai with gratitude, showing the true strength of the Luo clan. Let's begin the chapter. Whoosh! And just like that, 24 more ethereal stage experts materialized, joining the enemy ranks. Suddenly, they weren't just many, they were 30 strong, 30 ethereal stage experts. Arrayed against them on the side of Luo Yunhai were a mere handful. Jingtian and the sages, they were 6th layer experts, yes, and the power couple, they were 5th layer. But the numbers, the sheer weight of numbers, it was crushing. 30 ethereal stage experts from the mystical heaven sect, they encircled the Luo clan group, their faces twisted in scorn. "Where's that fire you were talking about?" one elder sneered, a thick mustache bristling as he spoke. "Ha! You rushed all the way over here, just to save a few radiant stage and profound heaven. Cultivators, and look at you now. You're trapped. Even worse off than before, weighed down by those weaklings, sealing your own doom." But the 5, Jingtian and the sages, they remained unmoved. Jingtian turned his gaze to Luo Yunhai, his voice firm. "Clan head, take the Flying Tiger Army and get them out of here. We will hold them back. We'll stop every last one of them from pursuing you." 5 against 30! Yue gasped, her voice laced with disbelief. "No way! They have experts stronger than you even!" Chu Yanhai scoffed, a hint of amusement in his tone. "Lass, don't compare us to your unruly demon-scheming sect elders. We are Luo clan. Our word to clan head is like a military command. We say we'll do it, then we do it. Not a single one will get past us, or you can take my head." Yue stared at him, her eyes wide, searching for any hint of falsehood. Are the Luo clan's rules really that absolute? She wondered. 5 against 30, it was almost suicidal odds. And then to add that impossible condition, to let no one slip by. Luo Yunhai, though, he nodded, a deep, weighty nod of trust. "Then I leave it to you, venerables. We will join the demon-scheming sect at the treasury." He seized Yue's hand, her soft hand trembling in his, and with a determined look, he took to the sky. "Flying Tiger Army with me!" "Yes, sir." The soldiers roared their assent, a wave of sound, and they surged together, following Luo Yunhai, retreating beyond the immediate threat of the ethereal stage experts. Yue, her heart pounding with anxiety, couldn't tear her eyes away from the 5 figures left behind. You truly believe they can fight 1 against 6? It's impossible!" Luo Yunhai squeezed her hand reassuringly, even as he pulled her along. "Ha ha ha, don't worry. They are the strongest force brother Zhuo left for the Luo clan. They are our guardians. Yue. Their word is their bond. If they say it's all right, then it truly is in their hands." He kept flying, pulling her with him, putting distance between them and the impending battle. Back on the ground, Jingtian chuckled softly. Then his eyes hardened, turning savage, blazing with fighting spirit. "With clan head safe, then we can finally cut loose." Showing off already?" One of the mystical heaven sect experts mocked. "So you're saying you were holding back before? Did you forget who gifted you with that fresh wound, old man?" Chu Yanhai sneered in response. "We got hurt on purpose, you fools. How else were we supposed to draw your attention to create the opening to save clan head? That was your one and only chance to even scratch us." A chilling voice cut through the air. An elder with long white hair stepped forward. A palpable wave of dreadful aura radiated from him, marking him as the strongest among them. "You 5, you do stand apart, I'll grant you that. Stronger than the average ethereal stage expert. But you forget, You were locked in a stalemate before you even bothered with those juniors. You couldn't gain any ground then, could you? And now, you are far more exhausted than we are. 5 against 30. Your end is here. And then, something unexpected happened. The 5 of them, they just burst out laughing. A deep, resounding laughter that echoed across the tense battlefield. "Why are you laughing? Am I wrong?" The white-haired elder demanded, his voice edged with suspicion. Li Jingtian finally stopped laughing, nodding slowly, a wicked glint in his eyes. "Ha ha ha, right, you're totally right. Though that was when we were fighting alone." A flicker of unease crossed the elder's face. A sinking feeling began to creep in. Who knew the day would come? Chu Yanhai chuckled, shaking his head. That old coots like us would actually have to work together. Ha ha ha. But in any case, we're also fighting for Steward Zhuo this time, who's shown us nothing but favor. We best not drag our feet, or clan head might actually suffer, and then we'll really be in trouble. The other 4 grinned, a shared understanding passing between them. "Sure," they chorused. The heaven and earth sages moved in perfect unison. Their hands flashed, forming intricate seals. 2 glows erupted from them, one black, one white, shooting out and enveloping them. And then, in a blink, they vanished, swallowed by their own light. When the light faded, the world around the 30 enemies had utterly transformed. The clamor of the wider battle, the screams and shouts, all gone. Silence. And everywhere they looked, only shades of gray. A monochrome world. Shit. This is a domain soul, one elder bellowed, panic rising in his voice. "We have to get out of here now, before we're consumed." The others, jolted into action, frantically summoned their own souls. A chaotic display of shimmering weapons materialized. Swords, spears, axes, and a multitude of other forms. "It won't change anything," another shouted, trying to rally them. "They might have a domain soul, but we are 30 souls. We will smash it with our combined might." Shouts of agreement rippled through the group. They raised their souls, ready to unleash a devastating attack. But as they channeled their power, as their souls pulsed with energy, the world warped again. Black and white swirled around them, a dizzying vortex. And then, the horrifying realization dawned. Their power, their very soul power, it was being drained away, consumed by the shifting shades. Outside the domain, the sages stood calmly before the swirling black and white sphere, watching it spin. "Ha ha ha," Heaven Sage chuckled, a cruel amusement in his voice. "Our domain, it's the yin-yang reversal. Your strength, your very essence, will be sapped by the constant flux, given back to the world itself. Until you are empty, until your souls crumble to dust, you have no hope of forcing your way out." The white-haired elder, his face paling, frantically searched for another way. "Don't waste your energy! Don't feed the domain!" he yelled. "Gather your soul power together! Focus it! We need to breach the domain as one! We are 30 ethereal stage experts. It cannot absorb so much power at once!" "Ha ha ha, you are right. Surprisingly," Earth Sage mocked, turning to Li Jingtian with a knowing look. "Yin-yang reversal. It embodies balance. Yin and yang. Acting alone, your power is devoured. But together, united, you might just break free." He nodded towards Li Jingtian. "They are about to join forces. They might actually hold out. You should join the fray as well." "Ha ha ha, well said!" Li Jingtian roared with laughter. A terrifying black aura erupted from him, surging and billowing like a storm cloud. A colossal black dragon, formed of pure soul energy, materialized in the sky above, unleashing a deafening roar. It plunged directly into the swirling black and white sphere. "Soul variant! Necro Dragon Chained Claw!" Roar! Just as the gathered soul power within the domain reached its peak, ready to burst outwards, a draconic roar tore through their minds. Before they could even comprehend what was happening, colossal black claws, each one larger than a man, rained down from above like spears of pure darkness. They slammed into their gathered souls, each claw strike carrying a sinister, corrupting power. Souls scattered, formations shattered, and screams of agony echoed within the domain. Blood splattered, even soul blood. Coughs racked their bodies, and faces turned ashen gray. The weaker experts, those with less resilience, they were hit the hardest. Their souls, their very being, ripped apart, gone from existence. Fear, raw and primal, gripped the remaining mystical heaven sect experts. They had never imagined such devastating power, such a catastrophic attack. In a horrifying blink, the 30 ethereal stage experts were reduced to barely half their original number. Unseen by those trapped within the dual-colored sphere, Jingtian stood outside, gasping for breath, his black aura flickering weakly. It's not easy. Taking on so many, he wheezed, sweat beading on his brow. Old Chu, I leave the rest to you two. Of course you'd be exhausted after taking out half of them. Chu Yanhai grinned, a flash of competitive spirit in his eyes. Old Li, you're just showing off. Wasn't there 5 of us? Shouldn't it be 1 against 6 at least? Fine, then don't join in, Jingtian retorted, rolling his eyes despite his exhaustion. Leave the rest to the sages, then. But now, Chu Yanhai's playful grin vanished, replaced by a fierce determination. No way, he growled. Since you took out half, how can I be outdone? He turned to Shui Qingjian, a fiery desire burning in his gaze, a literal fire about to erupt. Wei Qingjian simply shook her head, a soft giggle escaping her lips. She rolled her eyes playfully. Looks who's showing off now. Together they raised their hands, forming identical seals. 2 souls emerged, one blazing hot, the other icy cold. They met, touched, converged, and in an instant, they erupted into a blinding, scorching light, a beam of pure destructive energy hurtling straight for the domain. Yin-yang convergence. World annihilation.